in the middle. Yeah, it's a small country in the middle of Senegal. Most people know Senegal. Yeah. So I am the CEO and the founder of Afrobyte. It's a software company mainly focused on web application, mobile applications, software related things, as you can see. Okay. So what I'm about to share today will be, the table of contents, my experience, a little bit of my skills, and about Afrobyte and the future of Afrobyte. So again, a little bit about me. I'm a self-taught full stack developer with a variety of knowledge in a few programming languages. And again, as I stated here, my understanding of problem solving and complex algorithms, are skills that contribute to my overall success as a developer and as an entrepreneur, for example. As they say, every problem solution starts with a plan. The plan is called the algorithm, for example. Yeah, an algorithm is a plan for solving a problem. So if you are able to work yourself within these two lines, think can be a very good tool in helping you run your business or how to deal with the whole thing. So let's start with my experience, number one. Work experience. I've actually worked in Bulgaria. I've been living in Bulgaria since 2013 up to 2019. Then I came here. But then since 2013 up to 2018, I've been working in a high-tech company. They are called Industrial Technology. They deal with software and hyperlayer stuff. And I've been working as a front-end developer since 2013 up to 2018 with them, as you can see here with some of my teammates brainstorming in the morning. And down there is me at my workstation. So then the second company is Lookup. It's a French Bulgarian company that I worked for also from 2018 to 2020 as a full stack developer. But actually before that, between just 5 months between moving from Industrial to Lookup, I actually worked for eBay in the back end there with some Israel team for like 5 months before moving to China or switching to Lookup. And for Lookup for now, like I've been working there since 2018 up to 2020. Now, actually, I'm not part of the team, but I'm more like they are like more like my clients and partners now. Yeah, and I will give more detail about Lookup at some point. So my current position right now, I'm like the CEO of Afrobyte and also a full stack developer for Afrobyte, like more like the senior developer. A little bit of my skills, technical skills, as you can see, the basics like every programmer, Git, wireframing front-end, frameworks, backend, DNS, hosting management, database, and etc., testing people APIs, and etc., and programming languages, JavaScript, Python, PHP, Django, Angular, Flutter, TypeScript. I do also Node.js, and most of this, most of the programming languages. So Afrobyte. This is Afrobyte. Welcome everyone to Afrobyte. So actually, I started Afrobyte in 2016. As you can, while actually I was still working for Industria. As you can see, two logos like this in the beginning. This was our first logo. In the beginning, this was like our first logo that we created. I mean, we have elephants symbolizing Africa, and then we have like the computer, these things symbolizing the tech, you know. So yeah. Then in 2001, we changed the design to this new logo that you see now. Yeah. Yeah, these are the services that we provide: web development, e-commerce solution, mobile app development, graphic design, animation, video, social marketing, illustration, and consultation. Also, we edit in art, but also we also help like startups who, for example, for instance, if you have a startup and probably you lack the resources um, to launch online, which we can have, like since we have like a more web company, we can definitely see how to work with you in supporting you to get yourself out in the world. So when it comes to clients, anyway, we have a small company, but I pretty much have a little bit of good clients. As you can see, the World Energy Forum, which is a branch of the United Nations. The Royal Canin, one of the biggest animal food production company in the world. Chateau Co-Living. This is a castle in France that provides housing for the nomads, like people like me who don't really need an office to work, but just want to be anywhere to go and work. Yeah. And Cohen's Lab, it's a gaming company actually. Yeah. The main office is in San Francisco. And look up also, it's like I said, it's a French Bulgarian company. And actually it's like more marketing company, but they're also doing tech. They also have very influencer clients like Carrefour, Renault, and all these companies. I actually worked for them, like I said, mentioned, I worked for them since 2018 up to 2020, but more now they are more like my clients too. So I just do direct contract and work for them. And actually, for Lookup, they actually, because the owners are the same people who owns this castle in Normandy, the co-living. So they actually offered me I mean, due to the good service that I render to them, and I've been working with them for so many years now, they actually offered to give me the company to run it on my own, like more like merging it with my company, Afrobyte. But I have to see what are the rules, I mean, the terms anyway. So Chateau Isle Marie, this is also like a hotel in some hotel industry. OpenCH, it's a Chinese company here. They deal with microchips. You know, it's a really, really cool company. And Attitude 157 is an e-commerce company, been running for so many years. Also, they have like branches basically in so many parts of the world. This Skalski, that's also based in China here and globally, run by one of my friend Carlos. And PDOIS is one of the main independent news media house in the Gambia. We also work with them. We develop and maintain their platform. Max Foundation, it's an NGO, an orphanage NGO in Sierra Leone, in Freetown. So we try to also really try to cover the sub-region. And KH Corporate is a data company also based in Paris, in France. And yeah, we have many more, but I just decided to just put a few here for the sake of the time and the event. So pretty much this is the team for now. Actually, the team is bigger than this anyway. I have other developers based in Bulgaria, and also I worked with some people who have like one marketing person and a designer in Czech Republic. But here, as you can see, I'm more like the CEO here. And this is Anita. Actually, she's my wife too. She's also been there since day one, since creating the company. She's an animator and a designer, so she does the most of the design for the platform, and together with the other designers that I have, yeah, and the videos. So by Joe, he's actually a developer that I met here also. He's a Gambian too, like me, and he, I introduced him to the development thing, and he was really keen and willing, and then we did a lot of things together. And now he actually moved to the United States, but we keep in touch, and he still, keep developing himself. And this Musa, he's a developer. He's also one of the beginners from the beginning. We still work together. He's actually my childhood friend. He's a developer at Boeing, Boeing, the airplane company. He's like a software developer there, but we still work for Afrobyte, because I mean, together since childhood, we've been into this software, computer things, and then we are like, yeah, more like growing up to have our independent thing going. Sorry. Yeah, the future of that's all about Afrobyte, and like for now, the software company, but then we moving on the future, we really have enough of dealing with websites and applications and these, and we see how things are really changing, and we definitely want to do more of what we are doing. So this is our target for the future. It's an energy type that's just generated from natural resources such as sunlight, water, and these, to at least contribute in keeping the environment safe, and going. And also we intend also to make some moves on in the EV market, probably, electric cars, electric bikes, like I see so much in China here, and we definitely can do it, It's just the tech and the money, let's say, and yeah, and when it comes to for investors, it's not a big deal. For example, actually with this project that I just put here, I mean, this feature thing is something I'm really working on right now, and we actually like set up a place in Gambia right now where we really planning to start these projects. And for now, we actually have like our first investor who is really willing and so excited about the project. I actually have the whole plan draft, and just I just need to go there, and then see how we can just kick off things, But this is like the future where we want to head to, and see how best we can do to collaborate with some partners, some companies, or yeah, I mean, I think because I just hate, hearing the word, probably, yeah, I mean, the green energy, or the EV cars, all these new innovations is for the Western world. I think for Africa also, we pretty much ready. We have our butts, but I think we can find a way, to fit these things, in our own ways. Yeah. So I'm really excited to do something. So yeah, this is my contact for Afrobyte. If anybody wants to get in touch, is our email, the website. Actually, the company, as it is, the name sounds Afrobyte. So basically, so there was no better place to register the company than in Africa or in Gambia. So all I did was register the company in Gambia, but so far so good. Yeah. usually with clients, they're like, oh, I mean, yeah, blah, 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 where did you register the company? I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's actually in Gambia. Then you have those issues of putting together, you know, what's the name again? The payment things here and there. I'm like, yeah, of course, it's Gambia. We also have cool systems that you can provide invoices, and we have banks and all these things. Probably just have a long wiring system, but it still works. And so far, it's been working really fine. You know, it's really good, and everything is really, really working smoothly. And I'm so happy that, I mean, people anywhere from the world can really reach us and just do business with us. So that's something that's going to help us expand in whatever we are doing. So thank you, everybody. This was all that I wanted to share for now. And yeah, thank you all for listening to me. And yeah, I'm here for any questions. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Musa. Really great summary of the past, your work, and also your plans for the future. So I guess that a lot of people later will have some questions for you. Okay. But maybe right now, let's start with our question, which we are created by the Startup Grind team. So a lot of people, especially here in China, they say, if you want to work in tech, if you want to be a programmer, you should go to the best university, you should get a bachelor, a master, probably even a PhD. But you basically choose another way. You didn't got a PhD in computer science, but still you managed to succeed. So how did you got into software development, and what was the fascination and motivation to actually start to learn by yourself? And yeah, what's the story there?
Yeah, I mean, actually, tech, for example, like growing up, for example, in Africa, people might have the doubts, it's like, oh yeah, because it's like we have those limited resources, for example, and let's say a bit more or less access to most of the technologies. But luckily, for me, actually, in our neighborhood there, we used to have like a training institute, a training institution. So that boy that I saw you, one of the guys that I told you, my childhood friend, who is also in the team, the one working for Boeing. So this was actually in their home, and so they were having like computer classes also there. So what we usually do is we usually go, like maybe during lessons, we'll be like standing in the window and watching. And after classes, maybe in the evening, he would just sneak and try get the keys, and we just go in the class, open the door, and we lock ourselves in there, playing with the computers. And by then, we have this floppy disk thing, putting in and out, trying to figure out how the things work. And someone like me who really get bored with things very fast, I find that so interesting, fascinating, like dealing with those things that can just give you result, It's interesting. It's like every day you can perform new tasks and see, and it will give you the certain result or something, So that's how we actually started, bit by bit. And then at some point, they will, there'll be some time that they will change the computers, and then that's how we try to assemble one. Actually, we went to my home and we just assembled one in my home, with the boys. So we usually just now, instead of going here, we just managed to get 1, 2, 3. And of course they were like, oh yeah, this part. We are like, oh no, because you already changed, So we took it to our home, in my home. So yeah, that's actually how we started, playing with the things there, start typing here and there, this Microsoft Word. And actually we were also doing with using the Paint, Microsoft Paint a lot, like that, and editing things. So it become very interesting. So even in the neighborhood, somebody want to edit something, they will come to us, and they will start editing the things for them, So we are like the computer boys, Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is something we really are doing, and now we usually are like, oh, when we grow, we have our own computer thing going on. And then his father used to work for one of the independent news media house, which is one of the clients that we have, PDOIS. So they are like the independent in the country, So So in the evening, we usually go there because the fact that we were so used to this thing. In the evening, we will go to the media house and help because during the day, the journalists, they go around to get the information. So in the evening, when they brought all these things, we sit down to help them to type, with the typing thing. So that's actually we start typing the things, So we help them with typing. Then after, let's say around 12:01, they already done type go. So they usually leave us there. So we just sit down there to use the internet. So this was like our internet gateway. So from there we start looking at things and in the World Wide Web, things become more because right from having just a computer that is just doing putting some input and output, and then now coming to the real world that you put everything that you can watch and just searching, Googling, and all this stuff. So it becomes so interesting. Yeah. And
Sounds
then
definitely good stuff,
yeah.
But
And then at some
when did you know that this is really a profession? Because now it sounds like you're interested in it and it's a lot of fun, it's an adventure. But at which point did you know, okay, you could do this as a living?
Yeah, like I said, so back then when I was there was an NGO actually. I remember there was an NGO that wanted a website, and we were like, oh yeah, we can actually do the website for you. So I remember we actually built this website this long ago, before even knowing how to write this codes. We actually did in Microsoft Publisher, and it was a success. We were so happy. And I was like, oh, this is actually a really cool thing, like, and we got some money, and we were like, oh man, this is a really good business. So ever since, I was having this thing in mind, and then, so at some point I started, actually when I was in 11th grade, I think I was like 10, 11th grade, I actually remember like I got really bored in school, So then we have like another institution that was in Gambia. They started doing some computer stuff and accounting thing. So I knew like if I tell my parents I want to do the accounting thing, they will be like, oh no, but you have this, people will not be showing. But no, I mean the computer thing, they'll be like, oh no, but you already have computer here at home and blah. So I was like, oh, I want to do the accounting thing too. So I was like in 11th grade, so I started with doing the CAT and AAT. But then again, it's like just repeating the same thing. I got bored, it's like minus plus the whole day. So, balance sheet and these things. So I was like, oh no, this is really not for me. So then I remember I switched to the IT class, and everything was so easy. So I was like, man, I definitely can do this. So from there, actually, I start, developing these things and start, watching videos, start coding here and there, and then start seeing the result, and it becomes something that I, love and yeah. And yeah, the good thing is I'm more like a fast learner, and I was able to identify a lot of things and try to put them together, and really helps me. So when I arrived in Bulgaria, it was like I was almost ready for the whole thing. Yeah.
Sounds perfect. Yeah, because then at this point you decided to join another company. So you didn't start to build your own company or work as a freelancer. Why did you decided to for like 6-7 years work for another company? And was it a good preparation to then basically build your own company?
Yeah, I mean, back then when I was working for industry, it's like, yeah, I actually was working for them. Yeah, like I was working and I learned a lot. As you know, programming is more like learning, even though I didn't go to university or this, but I pretty much saw that the people at the diplomas, or they are not studying more. We have to keep up with the technology. I have to like basically learning every day. I go to bed late, until now, I have to like really, really, keep up. So yeah, the education part is very important. It depends on how we absorb information and how we process them. So for me, I'm definitely not a class person, so it doesn't work for me, but I figure out what works for me. And yeah, I mean, while working for this company, I was like really working for the, just for more like, yeah, it's like you having some job, but it's more like going in there to learn how this whole process work. Yeah, it's like I definitely don't go there to just work for the rest of my life there or this. So I was like, yeah, just taking my time to learn the job really good, and happily, it's like we actually don't really work. I mean, the job there is really cool because everything we do there is like we do everything from scratch, like from zero. Not like, editing template or using whatever you have to, everything you craft there, it should be from zero. And I remember even my wife can testify that I usually stay like really late. I'm usually the last person to leave the office. I'm like 12:01. I might come very busy the next morning or sleepy around 10:11, and then at some point my boss actually knows that I actually stayed late, and and I try to do a lot of things, so they make the time really flexible for me. It's like I can come anytime and to leave anytime, because they see that I'm usually the last person to leave the office. And yeah, I was assigned, like, I actually joined there as a front-end developer. And yeah, I really took my time, for 1-2 years, learned the whole thing. It was interesting. But then, yeah, as I told you, I get bored from repeating things. And I was like, dude, why not step on the next phase of this thing? So then I started doing the backend thing. So like if I have some difficulty, because we have like a big team, I have backend developers, so they will show me things. So it's like my after job task. I start doing most of those things. And then at some point, my boss actually saw that I'm actually doing this for that other thing. So he started giving me more like uh, figuring out new technologies. He's like, oh, we're actually thinking of using XYZ technology. This is the technology. Try to figure it out. So I'm like more like yeah, and
Flexible.
yeah. So from there on, it's like it took me all these years, but I remember like around at some point. I decided that, oh, probably I think now it's time, because I spoke with many people. I have this friend also, he was like, oh, yeah, sure, the one working for Boeing was like, oh, I think now we can definitely set up this thing. You already have enough knowledge for this thing, because I was already able to do a little bit of back end, and we are more, super comfortable on the front end and the server side things. I could upload, do whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I remember I took a vacation actually with my wife Annie, the designer. We took a vacation, like a vacation. We went to, because they have like a home in the village. They have like these village houses. It's like, oh, you know what? We take a vacation and go and set up Afrobyte. So we actually went there, and then yeah, so yeah, we took all the laptops and everything. So we went there, prepared the whole. We actually stayed there and prepared the whole thing. That is with the first logo, the other logo that you saw on the thing. And we prepared the whole site. And the good thing about it is I was also having people, like I was hanging out with some very influential people and people who are into business. And actually they see my work and they trust my work, and they know that the company was good, and they were really, really willing to test me. And it become a success. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great story, and yeah, I bet you learned a lot during your full-time job, and got a lot of skills, and now you are able to leverage the skills and
Yeah.
do only projects which you want, and basically be in charge.
Yeah.
That's basically the next and also the last question. So you're now the CEO, so you're responsible that you find clients, you work with clients, but also you have to be in charge of the programming team. So you have to make sure that the code is right, and that it looks pretty, and it is satisfied the customer demands. So what do you think are the most important soft and hard skills if somebody else at some point want to start their own company? So they have a background in IT, and they also want to build their own company, find own clients, and just build cool projects. So what are the skills and necessary character traits somebody should provide to be successful as you?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, my advice for anybody who want to embark on this journey is, in anything that you are doing, the best part is to also know in what you are getting yourself into. Is I have a clue, not like 100% knowledge of what you're going to be dealing with, but at least to have a clue of the whole thing, at least to know the basics of how the things work. So even if you have to hire some people and these, so if difficulties come or there's a way, there's something, I mean, you can definitely be there to debug or handle the whole thing, you know, the whole situation. So definitely it's a good thing to have a knowledge of whatever you are trying to get yourself into. And but and also the good thing also, like for example, in my part is like, you know, delivering quality work is, for me, the timing. Yeah, we say like fast work, you need to do the work fast. I think like the speed, it matters, but doesn't really matter, you know, somehow. Delivering quality job, I think, is one of the best thing, even if somebody um, should get mad at you, but then there's so that you really delivered what, you know, they ask for, or even give them more than they ask for. Then this is something, and then you can then start working on the speed also, which is also very important. And in my case, actually, quality work and really sells me out. I actually don't really do marketing in general. Just recently, my wife tried to talk me into this marketing things that, oh, you have to post this. And I start doing one of those things. But, you know, it's like, yeah, I have to deal with other things. I definitely cannot keep up with this marketing kind of thing. Yeah, but yeah, in my case, you know, like I said, I have people who trusted me, and then, you know, they start giving me the contracts. I start executing them, you know, giving them the result that they want, and they get happy. They recommend me. So that's the power of recommendation. So they recommend me to other people, and also, you know, those people recommend me to other people and other people, and that's how I got all these companies that I'm working on with right now. It's like, not like, I think the only company that I got from not recommendation is the Cohen's Lab, the San Francisco's company, the gaming company. Actually, they found me on LinkedIn anyway. They found me on LinkedIn, but they are searching for some developer who can handle some freelancer developer. So they found me on LinkedIn, and they contacted me. So yeah, from there we moved on, and they've been very, very good, consistent clients ever since, you know. Yeah. Again, also, you know, is just delivering quality work and doing your best. For me, as far as I'm concerned, for me, like, nothing is impossible, you know. Whatever comes to my desk or whatever comes, I make sure that we execute it, you know. It's like we have to figure out the know-how or just deal with it. But like, nothing comes and go, you know. Make sure that we do the thing, you know. It's not like, oh no, we haven't dealt with this thing, we don't have. No, it's like, yeah, we're definitely gonna figure it out, even if it means me spending like 1 month not sleeping, but I make sure that I figure out the thing, and then I do it correctly, and then just deliver it to the client, you know. And yeah, and I think this is something that is a good tool that can help you to get more and more recommendation and get you going, you know.
I think that's a great approach for a startup founder, because people want to work with you because you're flexible, you have good ideas, and you have to be different than your big competitor. And it's great to hear that quality is important, and that it actually works. So you don't have to spend 30% of your revenue on marketing. You are the example that if you're doing a really good job, then people will also recommend you for free, I guess.
Yeah, and consistency also. You have to be consistent, you know. I mean, think about the most successful brands, you know. I mean, they are identifiable because they feel the same every time, you know, you encounter them. So you want your personal brand to achieve this as well, you know. Yeah.
Good example. Good example.
Yeah.
All right, Musa, thank you so much for answering the question. First, could you stop sharing the screen, please? Then we can see you even bigger.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Don't worry, it's fine. So I think you can just go to the top of the screen, and then at some point.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I didn't know that was this sharing. Anyway.
It's fine. It's fine. All right, guys, and now let's go to the question and answer part. And I would encourage anybody to just speak up. You can just talk and mute yourself and ask a question, or you can also write it in the chat. It doesn't matter. Now's your chance. Ask what you want to ask about our great speaker, Musa.
Hi, Musa. I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
hearing, yeah.
So last week it was an entrepreneur that also talked about having to pay attention to the details about getting paid and being careful of projects that are vague and they get payment at the end of things. That did you ever have clients that you did what you asked, then they kept adding things to say, oh, this is not good enough. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. You know, the mission creep type of situation. Because in service, sometimes it can be hard. Did you ever have those situations? And how do you make sure you get paid on time and other things like that?
Yeah, actually, in my experience, I mean, I do have people like usually say like, okay, this is what we agreed on, and then in the next minute they'll bring something new, you know. But I mean, this kind of things you make sure that you discuss this at the initial part of the thing before you even start the whole world. Okay, this is how I work, and this is the contract. Let's say how many pages or what do you want me to do, and outside of this, if any additional thing comes, this is what I'm going to charge for it, you know. And yeah, most of the people, yeah, they stick to the whole thing, you know, they pay you, and even some people it might even pay you extra, you know, based on the thing. So that was never my problem. Actually, I think I only have only a little bit of problem with that. I mean, that is with my Chinese client here, you know, because we had the meeting and they gave me the project, you know, and we do the thing, you know, and then the whole thing was like, yeah, we already agree. Oh, said, oh, but we will add some pages, and then I realized that they keep adding pages. So one time I just sent one and said, oh, actually, you know, this is what we agreed on. So if any additional page come, we have to, you know, it's chargeable, you know. But you know, they never responded. But I was like, okay, it's fine, you know. I mean, even the last time, you know, like they sent me I think I had to do like 8 episodes of tutorials for them to upload it on the site, you know, and these, you know. But anyway, I mean, it wasn't. I was not so bothered, you know. I was like, okay, you know, this is just my first experience here, you know. In China is fine, you know. But yeah,
Did you get paid or in the end or not?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I just let it be. You know, I was like, because I have like a contract with them up to end of the year. So I was like, okay, I'll just let this die. So when if it's time to renew the contract, then we will work that out, clear that part, you know.
Okay,
Probably, you know, might be
yeah.
some understanding, but anyway, I mean, they've been very nice. So, you know, they have, I didn't worry that much.
Okay, so not such a big problem. Just make sure everything's clear at the beginning.
Yeah, just make sure that you just put everything on paper before you start, you know, and yeah, that might just clear the way for you.
Okay, and you've never needed to like sue anyone or like
No,
do
no,
other
usually, yeah.
like things.
Yeah, I've been lucky, really lucky to work with really cool clients, and I never had such issues, you know. In turn, they will even give me extra, you know, like pay me extra, you know, for that. They're like, oh, we know that, yeah, this is the, but maybe. So your best luck is to pretty much work with let's say, yeah, much more bigger companies, you know. This will save you all this trouble, you know. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah,
It's
hello,
important to
Musa.
also get paid.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, this is Carlos. I
Oh,
just
Carl.
have one. Yeah. How you doing? Thanks for the
Okay.
nice presentation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Lucas. And hi, Simon. Yeah. How does it feel? Have you ever been approached by maybe let's say people who are not of good faith because you own so much data on servers that belong to big companies, even people's information. So have you ever been approached by some people of not good faith like to have access to this information, use people's credit cards that is used on those websites and stuff like that? And what does it take for companies to trust you with so much information? Yeah.
Yeah, the good question. Good question. So again, like I said, like this is a very important thing. Like somebody trusting you with their life, this is more like trusting you with their life, because for example, I have sites that are really they see collecting data and other things on their platforms. So again, it's I think just my reputation is really helping me. It's like more like like I say, people just having this good recommendation, people recommending you, and then not like people, but it's like even having like a whole corporation, recommending you. So, and these are like usually big corporations, and then recommend to another. So it's like they already cleared a doubt already. So yeah.
Okay.
But then yeah, I mean, no one ever, I never have these issues, of I mean, I'm actually not going to share that data in a way. So yeah. So even like that's why even with the hosting thing, I mean, even sites that I make sure that any site that I'm working on, I maintain it and I manage it myself. And that's why I even have like my own hosting server. Let's say where I have my own private dedicated server that I just do everything by myself, like host and everything. So I make sure that I keep all this information out in the public eye or from the wrong hand. So I make sure, to keep on my eye on everything and the security. Yeah.
Okay. Good to hear that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks. Okay.
Thank you, Carlos.
You're welcome, Lucas.
Do we have some additional questions? Now it's your chance. If you're students.
Yeah, I think if people are quiet, maybe I could ask more. Yeah, I could say more or ask more. So, Mr. Musa, would you say the future belongs to developers?
Definitely. I mean, I would not even actually say developers. I think the future belongs to everyone, because everyone can definitely become one, It's just either way or the other, We don't have to necessarily be all coders, but you can, I mean, there are pretty much platforms now. Things are getting much easier, and there are complex stuff, but there are much easy things. Like there are so many easy platforms, like easy to use platforms that people can use, and I think like this, you see the uprising with the AI thing, and the people are becoming much more not needed, but then again, like needed in some areas, So yeah, I think we somehow we can work our way, or like, I mean, everybody, but yeah, there is, like I say, when, for example, my worries are for Africa, when we always have a question mark, Yeah, so that's why I'm really trying to find my way to see how, at least from my part of the world, to see how best we can, I mean, make them aware of these things and the importance of these things, so we are not left behind,
Okay.
Yeah.
So how can we contribute to the phobia of coding or programming? I don't know the difference between programming, coding, and coding, but how can we contribute to make sure that people learn coding? Because someone like me, when I grew up, I was scared. When I just heard the word coding or programming, it scared everything out of me. Yeah. So how can we encourage younger people, children, to learn how to code and program? And where do they start from? Do you have like a recommendation?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah,
best,
sure.
which is easier, which can motivate them? Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, good question. There was somebody that, I was like, long ago, I was like, he actually approached. He was like, oh man, you actually writing so many codes, man. Do you like memorize all of these things, And I'm like, no, man, I didn't memorize it. I just know, I just understand how it works, and I know some of them. And these are like, and I've been doing this for so long time. And if you also start now, before, let's say, 1 year or something, you'll be able to do what I'm doing right now. So, but in the moment that he came and saw like a whole chunk of codes, things that he doesn't understand, he was a little bit scared, So if you have to, so somebody like these, I mean, they will get scared of getting involved with those things, But then when you start bit by bit with them, let's say, I mean, a good starting point is I usually always recommend Code Academy, you know. Code Academy is a good starting point because from there you can just start like writing basic HTML, you know, CSS, and then so on and so on. Then you can just move gradually, you know, until you start writing more complex codes, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very
One-
much, Musa. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hello, Musa.
One
I
po-
have a question.
Okay.
Yes, please go on.
This is Babu.
Oh, Mr. Babu.
Yeah, Mr. Babu. Yeah, you mentioned AI. There's
Yeah.
AI is a hot topic. Is it something that we are supposed to be scared of, or we are supposed to embrace it? Because there is a lot of talks about AI, artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I think there is nothing to scare about AI in general, you know. I mean, come on, these machines are just created by me and you, like humans, you know. We, you know, at the end of it, we still have to control them, you know. So the fact that people are scared, I mean, it's just, I guess just people get misinformed, you know. It's like, you know, there's this narrative that, oh, they will come and take all the jobs, and this, there won't be anything such thing like they will come and take all the jobs. These machines, I mean, they might able to, I mean, help us move faster with whatever task we are doing. As you can see, you know, even the web is evolving now. We are going to this double-3, you know, like so many changes are happening, and like this current traditional way of dealing with the internet will will be outdated soon. So we need more advanced technology to deal with it, and AI has a lot to play in those areas, you know. Yeah, so it's nothing definitely to be scared of. Yeah, and I'm going hot into this thing, you know.
Okay.
Actually, by the way, Babu is one of our intern also. Mr. Babu, he's one of our intern, you know, for Afrobyte. Mr. Babu, thank you.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, he's really moving fast, and yeah, I'm so happy we actually first thing. I mean, I gave him to do some Python thing, and he actually managed to finish like I think two of the courses that I gave him, and then he actually managed to develop a game, you know, with the Python and Kiwi, and now yeah, he's now focusing more on Flutter and that, which is more like, you know, the Google thing, you know, and more like I mean, he's focusing on to be maybe our app developer, you know. I just intend to see how to include people in. I've been
That's also a really good topic. So you have some partners. You also hired some interns. So what are traits you're looking in people you would like to work with? So what should a developer bring to the table, or what kind of skills or kind of motivation should somebody have if you would like to work with him, and you would give him an internship, or let it be part of your core team? What are the character traits and skills?
Yeah, for me, like you don't need to be skillful at all, you know. Like I said, you know, I'm definitely not looking for like a space, like looking something special from anybody, you know. Like you don't have to be like somebody, you know. You just have to be willing to put on the work and to learn, you know. For me, as like I said, for me, everybody can be anything, can be anybody, you know. So it's just up to you, you know. If you are willing, you know, if you are really willing and to put on the work, you can definitely achieve what you want to do. So yeah, when it comes to me, I definitely don't need a CV, you know. I just want to see what you can do, you know. Yeah, because that's how I was hired, you know. Yeah.
So you would say that if somebody would apply at your company, it's more interesting to see for you what kind of projects did he do, what kind of GitHub projects does he have, and it's not about grades, and it's not about at which university did he start.
I definitely don't care about the grades, you know. I mean, it's not my. I mean, for example, while it's working for industry, we had so many people applied for the job, you know, like, and they were like graduates from the university. I think about 3, 4, that I have to work with at the same project, and they came, they passed the whole question paper kind of thing, So when it was time for them to execute the job, like they all got stuck. And actually, like none of them actually made it to the company. All of them, like, never made it to the company. And then I remember my boss was saying, oh, now we should just go start hiring from the cafeteria, no, Yeah, but again, the university thing is good. I'm not against that. Like I said, it's like, yeah, education is really good. Like I said, I learn every day. I'm still even learning, You see, my head is already here, it's already gray, at 34, I keep learning every I keep learning every day, So it just depends how we absorb information and how comfortable we are with whatever we want to know, So you might be okay in the class doing it, but probably I cannot sit in the class. So yeah, education is definitely important.
All right, guys, we have time for 1 or 2 more questions before we have to wrap it up.
Yeah, I have a question, Musa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Abdullah, and my question is: you made mention of I'm speaking with regards to the African perspective. Like, for example, when it comes to programming, like say HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and all those other programming language. So most of us, we don't, at the beginning, we don't have like the resources, and also maybe we are not aware on where to start. So I would like to ask you your suggestions, like, for example, beginners who really want to program, but they don't know where to start because there are a lot of resources on the internet there. You don't know even where to start. So what is your suggestion on those scenarios where beginners like us want to program, but we don't know where to start? And with regards to the bootstrap, it's kind of expensive, and sometimes they don't even give a lot. So you feel like studying by yourself is better, but the most important thing is starting with the basics. But the issue is knowing where to get the basic.
Yeah, I don't know how.
So what's your suggestion, and how were you able to go by that and conquer all this? I mean,
I mean, one thing I would just start with saying one thing. Very important thing is just don't go and take templates and edit them, or just go, like I usually see people. I mean, even I have actually see even companies, like just starting with that, like they just take some templates and edit them, and start working as like, I mean, the way I actually learned this thing, for example, there are platforms. That's why I mentioned like Code Academy. From there you can definitely start writing code from zero. You can just start from basic HTML. You don't need to rush with this thing. The thing with being a programmer is something that has to be in your DNA, but you need to work your way to it, And also, it's just as simple as just going to Code Academy. They have, I think, you just start with HTML and then CSS. So it's like, these are like really simple. It's not some programming. It's just like the skeleton, Then you see how something works. And maybe when it comes to some backend things, then you might start, let's say, checking some Python stuff, and it's like, the Python, even the C# things, like, I mean, and actually most of these things are free, You mentioned in Africa. I think the problem for Africa is not actually lacking the resource, because basically now everything that I'm telling you, even I think even in Udemy you have like the courses there are free courses, and courses they're always like sales, $10, and so whereby you can pretty much, most of these things. I think the problem in Africa is like access to this information, I don't know how to put it, but
access to the right information.
Exactly. And like I said, and also I think people make a big mistake. Usually it's like, oh, you come to somebody, I really want to learn, I want to be a programmer, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, you start with, I definitely don't usually recommend people, you have to start with some C# or this. No, I mean, it's just some basic things, and see if you really enjoy doing these things, So from there you can then work your way gradually, But definitely Code Academy is a very good starting point. And then you can just gradually they have up to whatever. I think they have like so many courses there that you can really, but just don't, yeah, force your way, or check from YouTube. Most of YouTube, they're pretty like, yeah, it's cool to watch this, like, ready template. Let me pimp the template, move here and there. I'm a developer already. No, for me, like I told you, how I started learning this is like from scratch. This is how they taught me. It's like everything, even we working in the company that I was with, we never edit template. We just do everything. We have like designers, they would design the whole thing on Photoshop and they will give it to you. You the front end developer. I also have a front end developer. Then I will start cutting the images from the Photoshop and I will start converting them to codes, And when I'm ready, then I'll pass it to the backend developer. They will do their thing and then, then give it to the guy who's going to upload it. So at this moment, I am able to do all of these things. So that's why I give myself the title, not from university, but I give myself the title of being a full stack developer because I can do all of these things, But
Congrats.
it took me some time, anyway. Yeah.
Musa,
Congrats.
maybe you
That's
can also
Yeah.
maybe you can also share some links in the group, maybe like 1 or 2 links that everybody can find the website. So
Yeah, sure.
thank you
Yeah,
for your
I'll share
question.
it.
Do we have
Okay,
final
yeah,
questions?
Musa, what are the basic tools that someone needs if they want to start coding, like the basic tools?
Yeah, the basic tool that you need, you need a uh, you just need an editor, Let's say you don't actually need a very powerful editor. You just need a Sublime is free, Sublime text editor. You use Sublime text editor, and then you just use HTML5. Actually, like I said, the things are even moving. There is this Bootstrap that is the CSS framework that you can actually start with. I mean, with Bootstrap, you can really have like a pretty machine, something that is good. But this is actually if you want to do some web things, But I mean, if you want to do other things, yeah, I suggest you just go to Code Academy, and they start seeing some of the courses. But just what you need, you just need a good computer. You just have a terminal on your computer, the terminal thing, and yeah, where you can write the commands. So yeah, and then you just need a text editor. Maybe people, Sublime is good. VS Code is good, but it's heavy. Probably not good for beginners. Might confuse you a little bit, but yeah. What's the name again? Sublime is definitely my recommendation. Sublime text editor, yeah.
Okay,
So,
thank you very much, Musa.
Okay, I have like a comment, and also it's in the form of a question to just to add on what Adibamba just asked. Sometimes, like if you're someone like Adibamba or someone like me who is not like Musa, you learn programming in school. Maybe you learn Java or you learn Python, or C#, but you never know how this thing is really used to make something, something real. So you end up learning so many things, and at the end of the day, you have not built anything that is real. So how do you solve this problem? Because it usually frustrates us. Because before I met her, I've been learning a lot of programming stuff, but I've never built anything, that is realistic. And that is very frustrating. You want to see how what you are learning is used to solve real life problems to achieve goal. But you are learning programming languages. The moment you go advanced, it stops there, and then you go and start another one afresh. Yeah. How do you solve that issue?
Yeah, as you can, thank you, Babu, for the question. That's why I said I suggest starting from, I was like, yeah, you don't have to jump and start doing C# or any other sharp that you have to do. That's why I say just have a computer and actually. With Babu, we actually started with Python in general because I kind of see the his brain is capable to understand certain. But I remember even in the beginning, he was like, "Oh man, but Mr. Mo, this is so much thing." I was like, "Don't worry, just take it slowly, But I even remember like he finished the first Python course. He's like, "Oh, but I actually don't really. I did the thing, but I really don't quite get the thing." I was like, "Okay, don't worry." But I know what I was doing. I was just preparing his mental for the thing, Yeah, so then the second part I gave him to work on the Python and Kiwi, you know. So this is like something that he did. I mean, developing he developed some games and this. So I mean, he starts seeing results, you know. But you know, when they give you the raw code in the beginning, like just start punching some, you know, this. I mean, just seeing let's say 1+1 is, you know, 2, or some whatever string, and this is the result it is throwing out, you know. I mean, echo this and that. So it's like you seen something, but you really want to see something like more in a more visual way, you know. So in general, when I say you just go to Code Academy and just start with HTML and CSS, this is you writing the HTML line and the CSS line, and then not seeing the result. You don't have to see the result from the editor, but then you browse it on the web and see the result of what you are doing. I think this is like a good way of motivating you to go, you know. If you start write some HTML, let's say it's a hit one tag, my name is XYZ, you know, you just seen some machine code, and then you view it on the browser, you say, oh, actually, yeah, it's, oh, okay, let me make it bold, you know, like this. Oh, it's bold now. Okay, maybe you add some other functionalities. Okay, let me move it left and right. Oh, it's actually moving. So the more you start seeing this, so the more you become more interested, and it will motivate you to work on more complex things, you know, at some point. Yeah, but I got your point, like punching codes. Actually, for Babu, I'm actually preparing him for more backend stuff. That's why I didn't start with him with the coder. But I mean, he's so far doing good, you know. Yeah.
So I think that's a good start. But I think the next step is that at some point you should do an internship. So if you get the chance to work for a company, I think that is an experience which you cannot replace by yourself. So that's also one issue we see with a lot of international students here in China. They do their bachelor, they do their masters, but they never do an internship. And I think at the end, it's incredibly hard to get a full-time offer if you never worked in a real software company environment. And it's really valuable, and everybody should try to work with smart people to build up your real life programming skills. Would you agree, Musa?
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, internships are really great way to really work your way, you know, to this tech industry. And yeah, like Luca just said, it's really something I would also recommend, you know. Yeah. I mean,
all right. I think we're already out of time. So once again, Musa, thank you so much for taking the time today. Thank you for preparing the presentation. Thank you for answering all the questions. I think we could talk a lot more, talk about your future ideas and how you plan to tackle this, but maybe we'll do it next time. So thank you guys for joining in today. And the last words will be Musa's.
Yeah, I mean, I just shared the link for Code Academy, and yeah, I mean, basically, yeah, thank you everyone for joining this event. You pretty much could be anywhere, but you decide to stay here and listen to whatever we have to say here. And even though probably you are shy to ask questions or don't really have questions, you know, thank you very much for this wonderful time that we spent together. And if you definitely need any advice or looking on your ways to jump into the industry, I mean, it shouldn't be tech industry, it can be whatever industry, you know. I mean, I think we pretty much have enough experience to share, and I think Simon is actually in the group, and I'm pretty sure there are like Carlos, Lucas, and all these people have I mean, a lot of information to share to help you. And one thing I also noticed, you know, being in China here, is that, yeah, like you said, most of the university students just study, you know, just keep studying and then just forget about the future, you know. And I'm talking about it because I could see most of my countrymates that I have contact with. I'm like, and I'm usually like, oh, okay, so they're like, oh, I'm actually in my final year, and I'm like, what are you going to do? And I'm going back. And when you go back, what are you going to do? Okay, yeah, I'll see what I'm going to do. So it's like definitely you spend like 4 years of studying, you know, for your life, and you don't really figure out what you want to do. So that comes the point of the internship is very good, you know. At that moment you're able to figure out what you want to do in life, and then you know, and then yeah. So I mean, this can just push you, yeah.
That's the perfect conclusion.
Yeah.
Thank you, Musa.
Yeah, thank you
We
very
will
much.
share
Thank
your contact information in the groups. So yeah, just
you.
reach out to him. And thank you everybody for joining tonight. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you, Bert. Thank you. Good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Bye. Thank you. Yeah.
Great job, Musa. You did.
Yeah, well, I did nice.
Bye bye, Musa. Thanks for the presentation. Thanks, Lucas. It was
Yeah,
awesome. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you. We'll be here to close the door. Thank you.
Yeah.
Carlos is Lucas is already hungry. I'll go find some. Man.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I have to go home.
Okay.
Go home. So I think in the beginning we got cut off. So when are you planning to leave China and go back to Europe?
Oh, yeah. I'm actually looking forward uh to move soon.